My name is Ellen, and I've come here to visit St Joseph today from Film Club, and we are very excited to be here at your school today. We're even more excited because we brought with us a very special guest. Just before we get to their questions, just to get us started, I wonder if you could tell us a bit about Rio for anyone who doesn't know a bit about the film.
Okay. Rio is my latest movie. It's actually my 5th movie. I worked on all the Ice Ages and robots, and now Rio. So, and it's a movie about, I am from Rio, I'm from Brazil. And this movie tells a little story of a bird that is a very rare bird that lived his whole life in America and then finds a chance that he has to go back to Brazil in order to save the species. And this bird, his name is Blue, and is the voice of Jesse Eisenberg.
Confidence. Crazy love hawk.
The girl bird is actually probably, I'm sure you probably know her, is Anne Hathaway.
Wait, did you actually think we were gonna kiss?
No.
We just met.
Do you know Anne Hathaway?
I've seen Princess Diaries.
Princess Diaries,
That's good.
yeah. So, this bird goes through this fun journey in Rio, and he finds his heart and he finds his soul in Rio.
Who's got a question they'd like to ask?
What gave you the idea to create Rio?
You know, the idea came about like actually 10 years ago, maybe before you guys were born. So, what happened was, you know, as a true fact, in Rio, even though it's a tropical country, penguins come to the beaches of Rio in the winter time there, which is not very much winter, it's almost summer like here, and they just show up. So my first very original idea came out of like this idea of that a penguin would come to the tropics. The idea was like somebody from the cold came from the warm climate and then warm up his heart as he's like, interact with the other birds in Rio. And I created this character Blue, which also came from the cold, but he was a tropical bird. So he was a macaw. And then that's how it all got started.
What character out of all the films you've done would you say best describes you?
Ooh,
That's a good one. It's interesting because I tend not to do base the characters off of me. I create it out of my crazy mind sometimes, and so I think that in a way every character has a little bit of me, and I can go through a lot of them and try to say something. But I'll pick a few that I would say would have like me. In case of Rio, Blue is a flightless bird. He doesn't know how to fly, and he's a little bit afraid of heights. I have a little bit of that. I'm just not crazy about being too high up, so I share a little bit of that personality. Scrat, you guys know Scrat, right? Sometimes I feel myself being Scrat because I always like running after something, like just trying to really desperately getting something, and then always get sometimes get myself into trouble, by doing that. But I never give up, so I like that about it. So Scrat has that kind of like never giving up personality. Sometimes I'm silly like Sid. I have 4 kids, so sometimes I'm just like, I play around with them like that. Sometimes I'm like Manny, the mammoth, because I like the big families and the friends and stuff. So I think I have a little bit of every one of them, but I don't see myself on them, to be honest.
How did you become a famous director?
I became a director because I wanted to make movies, and that was a natural progression. I started as an animator, so I started animating characters and commercials and TV pieces, and then eventually, naturally, I became a director. So it wasn't like one day I woke up and said I want to be a director. It's something that kind of like happened, and then once I became a director, I worked very hard on my projects, and I was very fortunate that my projects was very successful, and then therefore I think the fame or success. I don't say fame because I'm not like Anne Hathaway or something like that. But I'm kind of like felt that, with the success of my movies, I felt that I became a very successful director.
Are there any films that have inspired you to become a director?
Oh, many movies. Actually what helped me to decide to do computer animation was a short movie. Are you guys familiar with shorts? Short, like, And do you remember that one from Pixar that was The Lamp, Luxor Jr.? You've seen Pixar shorts?
Yeah.
You see, that was one of the first ones that I've seen that kind of like inspired me. I said, how can we, I was amazed by the fact that he was able to give so much life to a lamp that I said, wow, that's a good challenge. I kind of want to do that, so.
What's your favourite film and why?
My favorite movie is Blade Runner. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but hopefully one day you guys can watch that movie. It's a science fiction. I love science fiction. I don't know if you guys like that. I don't know if you're into that yet, but so I like stories about the future, and that was my favorite movie.
Who inspired you to be a film director and why?
Yes, I have a couple of teachers. One of them was Chris Wedge, which was the first director of Ice Age and the voice of Scrat, one of the creators of the character. So he was my first teacher of animation at School of Visual Arts in New York, and actually he was one of the persons that I was inspired to pursue my career.
Why did you decide to do animation instead of movies with actors?
I started as an animator because I like to, I like more of the cartoon. I really wanted to animate. I wanted to be hands-on animation. So that was the main reason. I don't have a lot of experience with live action, but the good thing about animation is that I got a chance to work with actors at the same time as I do work with animation. So I have best of both worlds in a way. So I feel very good about it.
Do you think you ever will make a live action film?
Eventually, hopefully I will try. I don't know if that's gonna be my call, but but I love the idea of trying it. I like new challenges, so that would be a big one for me.
Do the actors speak as well?
Oh yeah, I will tell you how it works. Actually, before we even animate, we record the actors, voices. It's very important that they do the voices. So, like like something like this, I have a microphone. I give them the microphone, and they have a page which has the script, and they will read the lines or act the lines for me, and then I'll pick the best take of those lines, and that's what I give to the animator to put the character on it. So they have to perform. They have really to act it first, and then after that we do the animation.
So does the voice inspire how the animation looks?
Exactly. The voice is the acting or the emotion of the voice is what inspired the animators to create the physical motion or the animation of the characters.
How hard is it to make a film?
It's very hard, but it's a lot of fun. So. As you guys probably know already, sometimes it's tough to, to work hard, but there's always a great payoff. So this movie, it takes like over 3 years to be made. I work a lot with, a lot of people, like, actors, like writers, animators, and everybody. But it's a very satisfying, very fun way of work, and so even though I work hard, it's very satisfying.
That's great. Thank you very much, Carlos. Can we have a round of applause for Carlos?
Thank you, guys.